What's up, guys? So today I want to walk you through how you can triple your off-market apartment leads coming in within less than 5 days, okay? So actual deals, assuming you're a real estate investor, you want to scale in buying apartments using syndications, using other people's money, using creative financing, whatever strategies that is for you, but you're a real estate investor and you want to increase lead flow and deal flow so that you can start taking down more apartments and getting to a closing table quicker. If that's you, if you want to do that, I want to show you how to triple your leads in less than 5 days. Okay. Now, this idea, and the reason I'm making this is because the idea came to me through an event that we actually do for clients and what we actually do ourselves as real estate investors. You know, we have as a leadership team, as a whole in our business, we have over 100 million in assets under management, and we wholeheartedly believe you need to be in apartments and scaling there. But this is how we find really good deals. It's one of the ways, and so I want to walk you through the 3 steps, and it's also stemmed from a 5-5-5 challenge that we're doing. So 5 deals and 5 investors in 5 days. Okay. And when I say investors, I mean capital partners. So internally, if you want to know more about that, well, I'll drop a link or something down below and you can check that out. But basically, we're walking our newer investors or investors that just have a few deals and want to scale to bigger deals, walking them through how to find 5 good deals that you're submitting an offer on and get commitments from 5 capital partners and limited partners within 5 days. So technically, the piece I'm walking you through right now is just for finding leads, finding off-market apartments, which is only 3 days of the challenge, right? So in 3 days, really, I'm gonna show you the exact steps. So you ready? Get a pencil out, get a paper. I'm gonna walk you through an overview of what we're diving into and what I would recommend for you, okay? So as a new investor, step number 1, create your buying box, your buying criteria. It's another word for it, okay? So step number 1, create your buy box. So, and this is, again, depending on your experience, I typically work with people anywhere from, no units, nothing at all, no experience in real estate, all the way to people, that are scaling to, 6, to 100 million plus in AUM, right? So we're helping people scale in that range, okay? But as a newer investor, no contacts, no nothing, or a smaller investor that's just really wanting to go from small deals, single family, stuff like that to apartments. First thing, you need to develop your buying box. So, if you're brand new, I'd say set your range between, 10 to 40 units. Or if you have a little bit of experience, maybe go 30 to 100 units. And of course, this is all, again, dependent upon your exact situation. So typically, if somebody's coming to me saying, what should I do? I want to get on an actual call and get a little bit deeper in your situation and then make a strategy around that. Because some newer guys, but they have more time or, maybe even a little bit of capital, or maybe they just, whatever. What's their level? I would advise them just go straight to bigger deals. So depends on the situation, but choose one of those. Choose what range you're going after. If you're unsure, just go 10 to 40 units. Okay. And then as far as geography, as far as location, some people ask me, should I invest locally? Should I invest out of state? Should I invest wherever? Right. So I'm just going to give you some questions to answer for yourself and help you make that decision. Okay. So in terms of location, I typically recommend pulling a list, and we're about to talk about pulling a list, of a 100-mile radius of yourself in terms of geography. Okay, so you're going to pull a list of properties that's within a 100-mile radius of yourself. Now, you say, well, I don't live in a good area. I don't really want to invest in my area. That's fine, because that's the other question is, are you wanting to move somewhere? Are you wanting to invest out of state? There's different advantages and disadvantages to investing out of state, and there's different advantages and disadvantages of investing locally. But typically, for most people, I'm going to try and recommend being as local as possible. And the further out you go, and here's just the reality, the further out of state you go, the further away from home you are, the bigger the deal needs to be, because you're going to be needing to partner with boots on the ground, right? Or maybe you don't want to bring another partner in and you just want to go visit the property. Well, I would still recommend, unless your situation is super unique and you just have a ton of time and you don't need, to factor that time cost in and that travel cost in. You typically want, the further out you go, the more units, the more meat on the bones, right? Because you got to factor in your time cost of going and visiting the property, your travel cost of going and visiting the property, or factor in getting boots on the ground and a partner that's in that area that you can trust. But you're going to need to give that person, just say 5 to 10% equity, right? So that's just some considerations to have. One advantage of investing from afar is you're forcing passivity, right? You're forcing yourself to create systems to manage the deal from afar. And I would strongly recommend you getting in with people who's done that before and getting around the correct systems for that, because a deal can go sideways if you're not closely checking out property management, making sure that they're doing their job. And that's just a few critical systems that you want to set in place. It can still be pretty passive, as long as you're spending, your time wisely per week, a few hours a week. Okay. So that's step one. Create your buy box. Know how many units we're going after, where we're going after it. Typically I can do smaller deals if they're local. And I know my market much better if it's a local deal. I've got actual personal market knowledge from living in that area, and that goes a long, long ways. And as a smaller investor, that's really one of the biggest advantages you're going to have over the bigger institutional guys, because anybody can pull the numbers of the market, right? Anybody can pull the metrics of population growth, population decrease, whatever that is. Anybody can pull the market, the cap rates, and people can pull, data to show the big companies coming in, all this kind of stuff. But not everybody has actual, area by area within a city, right? Sub-markets within a market, knowledge in terms of, I know this area is up and coming, or I know this area I can get a certain amount per room, per month, or whatever. So I would strongly recommend just taking that into consideration. But then step one, once you've created your buy box, and this is what we're going to walk people through, is just simply getting in there, nailing that down, knowing what you're going after. Step number two, when it comes to actually pulling the properties, all right, and getting off-market leads. So it's understated in the name, off-market leads. It's not on market, okay? We're trying to go direct to seller. We're not necessarily going after the on-market stuff. Now, we still work with brokers. We still have a lot of great relationships there. But as a newer investor, you've got to really work the game. You've got to really get in there and network and use your network to grow your network. You've got to really play the system to be able to gain credibility if you want to work with brokers and have them actually send you really good deals. Otherwise, brokers are typically going to send you the deals that everyone's already passed on. And as much as you think, oh no, they're sending me something good, you're typically, as a newer investor, you've got to really be strategic about how you're going to be at the forefront of the best deals that brokers have. So that's why, for the sake of time, in this video, I just want to walk you through how to pull properties from a list. So then we're dialing sellers directly, or we're using VAs to do that. And we are bypassing the middleman. We're going direct to seller. So you find a good deal in this situation, it's your deal, right? So How do we do that? And these are the same ways that brokers are doing it, that wholesalers are doing it, all these people. So, many ways, and we talk about a lot, but here's the way I'm going to show you. All right, pull a list of properties. 100-mile radius is typical. If you don't want to be in that area, that's fine. Go wherever it is. 100-mile radius of that place. Pull a list of properties. If it has to be 200 miles, do 200 miles. Pull a list of properties using listsource.com, or you can use CoStar, use Reonomy, but I would say the cheapest way, most efficient, is going to be listsource.com, and then skip trace it in Lead Sherpa. What is skip tracing? Skip tracing is just simply using a service on the internet to scour the internet and try and find you actual names and numbers behind that property and the LLC that owns that property. So one big thing about ListSource is you want to make sure you uncheck exclude corporate owned properties, because in apartments, and these size apartments, everything's corporate owned. There's very few that's actually owned under someone's name versus an LLC. Okay. And Lead Sherpa, you're going to upload that list of LLCs and properties, and it's going to give you the name and number behind that, or as many as it can. Of course, it's all public data, so it's not going to be completely accurate. For my LLCs, I've got an attorney that is our what do you call it? Registered agent, right? So it's a lot harder to find those types of things. So, but a few secrets there. Just make sure you're not excluding corporate owned. CoStar is a great one. Reonomy, a really good one. And then you want to tweak it. It's an iterative process. So that's step number 2, pull a list, skip trace. If you want more information on that, just let us know. I think we have more videos that talk directly about like step-by-step processes on how to pull a list and skip trace. But last step, number 3, upload into a dialer. Okay, so you're going to take your now skip trace list and you're going to either just open it up and start hammering, start calling, or you're going to hire a VA, a virtual assistant. We typically pay virtual assistants $4 or $5 an hour out of the Philippines to just cold call apartment owners. In fact, recently we took down a 16-unit deal that was, of course, that's a little bit smaller than what we would normally like. But like I said, it was in our backyard, right? It was nearby. So we have, so that's a really good deal, right? I mean, it's in our backyard. It's fine to take down something a little smaller. But the other reason was this thing was just a killer deal. It's 95% seller financed. So in other words, I think it was around $800,000 acquisition. So about $40,000 down to purchase 16 units, and then 95% was seller finance. So that deal was found through a VA cold caller that we were paying $4 or $5 an hour. So that's a really strong way to leverage your time if you're somebody who doesn't have a lot of time. So I would strongly recommend using that. We also have like a VA recruiting arm. If you want to check that out, I'll just drop one link. You can check out, and if you want to talk to somebody, they can kind of point you in the right direction if it's something that would help you. But other than that, step 3 is just simply upload into a dialer. We use Ready Mode because the cool thing about that is you can upload a bunch of numbers and then upload a cold calling script, and the VA can just go in there and click dial, and it'll pull up a cold calling a script for every single person, and just boom, 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 boom. So I hope that helps. If you want to know more about that 555 challenge I was telling you about, 5 deals and 5 investors in 5 days, 5 off-market deals that are good, not just crappy leads, and 5 capital partners that commit to your investing journey, to being a part of your next deal, or maybe you got a deal underway right now, all within 5 days. Okay? You want to take the challenge, click the link below. Love to see you on there. Otherwise, I hope this was helpful. I hope this kind of gave you an idea of where to start. And then I believe we have several videos on the YouTube channel that go a lot deeper into this. So, all right, God bless.